Hey guys, what's going on? Benjamin Zarn here, and today I'm doing my first ever interview. Like I said, I wanted to start doing interviews, and I definitely am not going to disappoint you guys right here. I have one of the greatest vocalists right now in the deathcore scene.
Too kind.
I agree. I met him at the mall in South Lake. If you guys remember, everyone was like, yo, what the fuck? And I met him, and they were just the greatest guys. And I feel like you guys really need to check out the brand new record that they just put out, Angelmaker. It is a fucking amazing record. But anyways, let's stop with the bullshit talking. Let's get right to him. What is your name? What's your role in the band?
My name is Mike Greenwood. I do vocals in a band called Angelmaker.
That is awesome. So, like, explain to me how the whole thing started with Angelmaker.
Well, we all went to high school together. I was the last person to join the band. Previously, before me joining, it was mostly like metalcore and metalcore covers.
Awesome.
I joined the band and we decided to do more of a deathcore sound. At the time I joined, they already had a vocalist, so that was how we kind of decided to do the two thing. And yeah, it's pretty much, you know.
That is awesome. Now, you guys just, again, like I said, put out a brand new record, and it's getting astounding reviews. I'm seeing everywhere on posts and everywhere on Facebook, especially that Pig Squeals and Breakdown group. It's getting just amazing reviews, and it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite record of the year. I've said it plenty of times. I want to know, though, what is your favorite thing that you did while recording the record? Like, what was some of the inspiration that came to you while making the record? Did you do any, like, special vocal techniques or anything?
No, not really. I actually, like, on previous material, I tried to do a lot more different techniques and vocal ranges, but after touring a lot, I found what I was good at and what my strengths were, and I really, like, narrowed those things down into, like, what I could perform every night and perform live all the time. There wasn't anything necessarily too specific that was like a driving idea, other than like what our whole concept of always being a band is like, we want to write the deathcore that bands used to write, and not so much like the modern sounding deathcore. Lots of pig squeals, gang vocals, you know, stuff like that. Like, so we went into it with that in mind. Apart from that, like, musically, we draw a lot of influences from different things, but vocally I wanted to keep everything very like Angelmaker, and we didn't want to do, you know, zombie vocals and all that stuff are very cool, but you know, anything that gets super popular, it also gets played out, so we know what we want to do and we just kept with it.
I do agree with the new record. There's a lot of different breakdowns. There's not one, every song sounds the same, and I feel like, in my opinion, that's what makes the record stand out a little more. There's more sampling. Like at the beginning of one song, it says people that don't realize about God and that shit.
Well, we always like the movie samples. That was like a very OG deathcore thing. Like lots of things. Like, I mean, Carnifex did you know, Lie to My Face, all that, like, you know, what the fuck, like, all that shit, like, you know, and Suicide Silence did the whole Family Guy EP back in the day.
Yeah,
so
that shit, every time I listen to Family Guy, I automatically think fucking Suicide Silence and the Family Guy EP. I got a couple more questions for you guys. So, one thing that everyone says, not like everyone says, but like everyone brings out, is you guys have two vocalists. That's not very rare in the deathcore scene, but there's not a lot of bands that have the double vocalist. Is there any like arguments or anything that separates you guys each as vocalists, even though you guys are totally different?
I mean, we have totally different ranges and totally different techniques. Casey typically does more of like a false chord style, and like his vocal techniques are rooted a lot more in metalcore. That was where he started out, and I typically do more of a fry and like tunnel throat style. And it's all rooted in like listening to old Chelsea Green and shit like that from like back in the day. And then like you know, I've noticed a lot of bands that do have two vocalists. They have two vocalists that do the exact same thing. And I would really like having like a difference of sound and like a difference of like layering. And I hope that helps separate us from other bands, as well as the fact that like I've noticed some of the older deathcore bands and current, with two vocalists, they do a lot more of like, it's trading verses, where we want to just continuously, like, we'll trade lines, like, overlap, you know, leave this word, leave that word, like, try to, like, make it a lot more intricate and, I don't know, flavorful.
Yeah, I do agree. You guys have totally different ranges. You guys mix so perfectly well together, and I feel like, again, that enhances the Angelmaker style, and I feel like that is just why you guys are more on top. And like the smaller style bands, you guys are more on top in that way. Like you guys are getting more Spotify streams, more people are buying your merch more and everything from what I've seen over time. And I feel like that's really enhancing you guys, and I just want to say congrats, you guys definitely deserve it. Well, I got 2 more questions for you. Touring. What is the craziest thing that has ever happened on tour?
Oh man, put me on the spot. I don't know, man. Honestly, mostly like the van issues and shit we have. Like on our first US tour, we were driving on the highway, you know, going super fast, and the rear tire just sheared off its axle and went flying, and the whole rear end hit the ground.
That's not good.
Yeah, that was like the craziest thing for sure.
Okay, I got 2 more. I know I keep saying 2 more, but I just remembered this question. You guys are from Canada. You guys are not from the States. Do you feel like that kind of stops you in a way of being deathcore than more from the States, if you get what I'm saying?
I don't exactly.
Okay, so like, yeah, I understand. Like Brand of Sacrifice, another great band you guys need to check out. They are also from Canada, and I feel like with a lot of Canadian bands and a lot of out of country bands, I feel like a lot of bands aren't like giving a lot of chance. If you do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, it's hard for European bands in general because I mean, it's the same for us going over there. It's the same for US bands going over there. There's a lot of expenses, plane tickets, you know, renting gear because it's hard to ship all your gear over, buying merch over there. So it's like a huge investment, and that in itself is tough. The thing about us touring the States is like, it always just takes money, right? Like we have to get our work visas, we have to like, you know, have a proper van, trailer, and all those things. Like I don't think it's necessarily limiting being from Canada, but it is a different experience being a Canadian band in the US.
All right, last question.
Yeah.
Do you have any local bands that you feel like deserve a big shout out or anything like that?
Honestly, the local scene in our city has declined a lot over the past few years. I mean, shout out to Arcspire. They're like a huge,
check them out.
Huge band in our scene. The homies in Galactic Pegasus. We've played with them for years and years now. They're actually in the process of kind of rebranding and changing some things up, so keep an eye for that.
I'm excited for that.
But on the opposite side of the country, honestly, like some of our best friends in the whole music industry is Falsifier. Like we absolutely love those guys.
They put out some great music. You need to check that shit out.
I mean, and shout out to Brand of Sacrifice.
Brand of Sacrifice, definitely Brand of Sacrifice. They just put out a dope record. You need to check them out. Their vocalist is insane.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview, man. It was a great first time. Nice seeing you again.
Nice seeing you too.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right.